Today we are back on the Aetherdrift draft, still in Platinum. We need to make our way to Mythic real soon. So we're going to be grinding out some Limited for the rest of this week and weekend. And we're going to make it into Mythic as soon as possible so that we can then focus on Constructed. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into a draft. Okay, what do we got here? Our rare in the pack is Burnout Bastronaut. Again. Is that second draft in a row that we've had this as our pick one, pack one? So I don't love starting off in red. Red is pretty weak. However, black-red is a really strong archetype, and this is a very, very powerful card in that archetype. So I think I'm supposed to take this and sort of draft, like, if black-red is open, then this is going to be a really good pick. Other interesting stuff in the pack. Tune Up is not a card I would first pick, but it is a fantastic card if you end up in white. Earth Rumbler's great. And, I mean, that's kind of it. Pace Setter's fine. Chefet Archfiend is kind of fine and very easily takeable because it's cycling it is so easy. But I'll take the Bastronaut here. And we are staying open-minded. So, best card in this pack is actually the Ride's End. Red-white is really not where I want to be. Black-red is much more interesting, which kind of makes me lean towards the Gastel Raider. So, in a vacuum, like, the best card in this pack, I think, is the Ride's End. However, following Burnout Bastronaut, I want to take Gastel Raider. I'm going to try that. Let's see if Black-red is open. Now there's a Samut. Fantastic card. I think this is really, really strong. And if we had taken the Ride's End, we'd be taking the Samut here. And we'd be pretty happy about that. There's a Pack Dolterra, also fantastic in this pack. But there is a Gastel Thrillseeker. Hell, why not? It's a little early to take a gold card, but with the start that we've had, I think I can just take the Thrillseeker here. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. So there's Chefet, Archfiend, Siphon Fuel, and Crash and Burn in our colors. The best spell of these three is Crash and Burn. Best pick in the pack could be Crash and Burn, could be Nesting Bot. Nesting Bot is very good. But I'm going to take the Crash and Burn here, and I am very happy about how this is all started. Now, white looking open, as it usually does. Windscarred Crag, not really what I want to do. Pedal to the Metal, Grim Javelineer, and Pilot. What we've got here. It's going to be between the Javelineer and the Pedal. I think I'd be more interested in taking the Javelineer, but I think it's quite a mid card. Maybe Pedal to the Metal is the better card to take. I really don't have a lot of experience with this deck, to be honest. So I'm going to take the Pedal to the Metal. And we'll see if that was correct or not. I think Proud Catcher Specialist is a take here. Good, aggressive 2-drop. Taking that over. There was something else in that pack that I've already forgotten. So there's another Ride's End. And that definitely is, like, by far best card in the pack. Would we consider playing white at this point? Or should we just stay in the lane that we're in? If we are staying in the lane that we're in, Magmakin Artillerist, not that exciting. None of these cards are that exciting. I think I'm just taking the risky shortcut, which can be good. There's a little bit of card advantage. And a way to push through, like, increase your speed. Pack Dolterra, also a good way to increase your speed. Just a better sized creature than these two. So I'm going to take the Terra here. It's pretty late Pack Dolterra. Pretty happy to take that. Streaking Oil Gorger. Fine top end for a max speed deck. Siphon Fuel. Pretty bad removal spell. Hopefully that's not making the cut. And I'm just going to take the Ticket Tortoise here. And it looks like a solid red-black start. But I think what we need is spin-outs. We need some more ways to start our engines, and we need some more payoffs. So we do need a little bit more of everything. I think that the red-black deck can be grindier than you think. Oh, Demonic Junk is great. Risen Necro Regent, also exactly the payoff that we want in this deck. There's also some really, like, there's Autarch Mammoth, Run Over, another Ride's End. Having 3 Ride's End, which we could have had, it would be really strong. So maybe the red-white would have been an interesting place to be. But we are more or less locked in now. And the rare in the pack is the Demonic Junker. I do think Necro Regent is excellent, but, I mean, we don't have that many artifacts, but we definitely could. Like, we'll take Wreckage Wicker Folks, if we see them. We'll take Grim Baubles, maybe, but this comes down, destroys a thing. It's just good. Necro Regent is very good as well, but much more likely to wheel. I think it's pretty close. Pretty close between the two. Now, very interesting. There's a Pack Dolterra in this pack. We did wheel one in the last pack, and there's a Spike Spitter, which I think is also excellent top end for this deck. So I'm taking the Spike Spitter here. Now there's a Goblin Surveyor and a Back on Track. Return a creature. Like, if we return the Bastronaut, that's very good in the late game. I guess the Pilot or the Junker as well is something we could return that's pretty good. Not sure this deck wants Back on Track, but I do think it's probably better than Goblin Surveyor. So now, there's another Crash and Burn. Locust Spray, which is just fine. Calaxion I'm not that interested in. We could do with some more creatures, but I do think in the absence of the spin outs and stuff, we're not really seeing those. I do think we want these Crash and Burns. And now Spire Mech Cycle is okay. 5 mana, 5/4 haste. We don't really have any mounts or vehicles. I guess we have the Demonic Junker. So I think we're more likely to play this. I've not been impressed by Lightning Strike. Would I rather have Lightning Strike in this deck? I'm really not super pumped about Spire Mech Cycle, but I'll give it a go, and I'm going lower and lower on Lightning Strike as time goes on. Another Gastel Thrillseeker is excellent. That's what we really want, is a good 2-drop. And now we could take Kickoff Celebrations. I don't really think I'm that excited about Kickoff Celebrations. Wickerfolk Indomitable is just fine. I really haven't been that impressed by this card. Haven't been that impressed by Deathless Pilot either. But I do think I'd rather have the 2-drop creature. Now there's an Apocalypse Runner versus Dynamite Diver. So we could just take the cheap creature. Apocalypse Runner has not been fantastic. But we'll give it a go, because we do actually have 2 Gastel Thrillseekers. We have the Burnout Bastronaut as well, and that's really busted with the Apocalypse Runner. So it could be good. It could be good. Javelineer works nicely with Apocalypse Runner too. We're okay on removal. Maybe I'm supposed to take the Blockbuster as another removal spell, but I'll take a 3-drop aggressive creature instead. Another risky shortcut, not very likely to make the cut. But towards the end of Pack 2, we're going to make playables. Hopefully through Pack 3, we can improve the deck a little bit. We need a few more good aggressive creatures. We didn't get that Necro Regent back, which is a real shame. But I don't hate where we're at. With the Oil Gorger and the Apocalypse Runner, we should race pretty easily. With the Back on Track, we should be able to get our Bastronaut back pretty consistently. I think Grim Javelineer is better than Calaxion. If we're going to play a Raceway, I guess this is probably the one that we want. And then the tune-up came all the way back. So definitely white was like mega open, which it usually is, you know. Pace Setter Paragon looking like the best card in our colors. Scrap Compactor, also one that I would think about. Deathless Pilot. There's also a Burner Rocket. I wonder if this is a Burner Rocket deck. I wonder if this is a burner rocket deck. I mean, Pace Setter Paragon's pretty good with Apocalypse Runner. But then, you know, so is burner rocket. I think I'm taking the Paragon here. Burner rocket seems to be better than I give it credit for when you look at like data. But I've never really liked the card. 1 mana, 2/1. I will take it. It is a perfectly fine creature. Taking that over the Gastel Blockbuster. Probably trimming a risky shortcut. And now the question becomes, I think removal is the thing we need the most. We're at 13 creatures. We could take a Goblin Surveyor to start our engines. We don't really need that. I wonder if I'd prefer a Packed Doll Terror. It's just a good-sized creature. It can push through little points of damage. Even if you don't trigger it that many times, I think it is still a better creature than the Goblin Surveyor. So I'll take a Packed Doll Terror here. Nothing in this pack. Nothing in this pack at all. We're not looking to splash. We are fine on playables. So I guess we will just take this land. Now, there's a Grim Bauble versus a Mako. Mako is not really... We're not doing a whole lot of discarding. Grim Bauble works nicely with the Pack Doll Terrors. I don't think I'm super high on Grim Bauble anymore, but I will take it over second Siphon Fuel for sure. So there's another Pace Setter Paragon. I'm genuinely thinking, should I be taking Gastel Blockbuster as a bad removal spell for artifacts over another Pace Setter Paragon? I don't think so. I don't think that's right. And I think I'm probably trimming a Grim Javelineer. I think here I'm taking another Pack Doll Terror. And, well, there's nothing in this pack. So, you know what? I'm just gonna take the rare, I suppose. Yeah, so it looks like this is the deck. We could have done with a little more interaction. Probably trimming maybe even a Pack Doll Terror. Burner Rocket actually might make the cut. We'll see. I don't think so, but it might. So yeah, okay. I think this is our deck. Would have been nice to get a little something more, but it is pretty solid. It's okay. It's a good red-black deck. We have some good rares. We have some good signpost uncommons. We have half decent removal. Not seeing any spin outs though. And also we didn't see any of the 2-mana indestructible combat trick. And if we'd because we took the Dismal Backwater, if we'd have taken a single Haunt the Network, I think we would have played it with the 3 Pack Doll Terrors that we have. So let's separate out our removal / interaction. I'm counting Burner Rocket as like half a piece of removal. There's a Siphon Fuel. And what else is in our pool? So the only thing we would play is, I guess, these 2 cards. 16 creatures. Yeah, 16 creatures is pretty good. I do think we want to play the 17 lands because we have a handful of 5 drops. We have Prowl Catcher Specialist. Oh, that's not the one that... Oh, Grease Wrench is the one that lets you discard cards. Other than that, we do have the 2 risky shortcuts. That's probably... I think 1 is probably on the chopping block. Yeah, I think what I want to cut is probably... could be Burner Rocket, although Burner Rocket is very good with Pace Setter Paragons. It is also pretty good with Apocalypse Runner. Yeah, it does help us race pretty effectively. I wonder if Pact Altera is really good in this deck. It's just a 3/4 creature. We don't have that many artifacts. It does make the Demonic Junker cheaper. And it is just a good creature. Javelineers are a little weak, and the 4-drops are a little heavy. So... yeah, I've got some choices to make here. We didn't get the top end. We took... what did I take? The Junker over the Risen Necro Regent. I think the Necro Regent might have been better. The way that the deck turned out, we don't have a whole lot of top end. We can play the Mech Cycle if we keep the Burner Rocket, because then we do have 1, 2, 3 other vehicles to exhaust with, which is not bad. So looking to cut a risky shortcut. I think I'm going to play the Apocalypse Runner. I kind of see it in this deck. Thinking the Siphon Fuel probably goes. We've got 2 Crash and Burns. Those are better. So we'll cut the Siphon Fuel. We've got Junker and 2 Crash and Burns, which can deal with most of the problematic things in the format. Pact Altera is so good, but 4 drops are looking a little heavy. 3 drops are looking a little heavy too. So let's cut a Pact Altera. I do quite like the Javelineer, but the Pace Setter's threat of activation is so much better. So let's trim a Javelineer, and let's talk about back on track. So we do have 4 vehicles, all of which this pilot can crew. And getting back our Bastronaut in the late game is very strong. Getting back an Oil Gorger is pretty strong. Getting back Junker, Apocalypse Runner is pretty strong. Opponents are gonna have a very hard time racing us because we're gonna go fairly fast, and we have actually a bunch of lifelink. With the Runner and the Oil Gorger, we have good sources of consistent life gain. Apocalypse Runner plus Pedal or Burner Rocket or Bastronaut's ability can just be a win on the spot. Do you know what I would have loved to find is the is it not Gasol Raider? That's this card. The 3-drop that starts your engines like the that with the exile effect. That's really good with Apocalypse Runner, I think, because it's a 2/3, right? So you can make it unblockable and then just pump it every turn, and that would have been great. That would have been great, but whatever, it's fine. Yeah, Javelineer has the least synergy with Apocalypse Runner, so that's where the trim happens. Okay, so 1 more card to trim. 1 more card to trim, and I mean, it could be a land. No, I don't think that's right. We've got the Spike Spitter for card advantage. We've got a Grease Wrench Goblin that helps a little bit. Deathless Pilot is not very impressive. But then we do have a handful of vehicles, so maybe it's okay. It could just be another Pact Altera. Yeah, the Terra is a fantastic card, but it's not so fantastic in this deck. We do not have that many artifacts. We're at 6 artifacts. By the time the Pact Altera comes down, it's not going to be doing so much. So having just 1 and it being a 3/4 creature that can push a point of damage and enable us getting max speed, I'm happy with it doing just that. It crews everything as well. So I do like the card, but I think it is the cut here. Now, we have no double pips whatsoever, so we can play this Amonkhet Raceway. And it's not really even that good, but it is fine. Okay, yeah, let's run it like this. We probably want red earlier than we want the black. Oh, do you know what? I think I want to cut the raceway. I really just don't think it's that impressive. And I want to cast my Thrill Seekers on time. So I think I'd rather have the mountain. Yeah, okay. Let's do it like this. Okay. What have we got here then? This is an acceptable hand. We're going first. We have an aggressive 2-drop into a pretty good 3-drop to follow up. We're not starting our engines for a while, but when we do, we have got the Oil Gorger. Yeah. Well, let's go in. Let's start hitting them. I think best card... I would love to draw a Packdoll Terror just as a 4-drop. Maybe Gastel... Oh, Gastel Raider would be nice too. So yeah, we can definitely go ahead and attack into this thing. Surveil away some stuff. We can play the Spike Spitter pretty aggressively too, because we have this back on track in hand. Junker. Ooh, maybe I want to back on track that. Yeah, let's surveil that away. It's too expensive right now, but if we back on track that, that's pretty great. Keen Buccaneer. Okay, so I'm going to play the Spike Spitter, and I'm going to attack. They're going to trade. Good stuff. Crash and Burn on top. We have our 5th land, so I will keep Crash and Burn. That looks good in this spot, where they're playing 1 creature a turn. Okay, let's hit him. Do you know what? This was a little bit of a misplay, because I do actually want to play the Oil Gorger this turn. Didn't think about that before combat. But what they're likely to do, I think, is play something, crew this, and attack. Which means we can deal with that next turn. So, yeah, I should have played out the Oil Gorger. Missed out on 3 lifelink damage there. Oh, well, 3 regular damage. Missed out on 3 damage. But that's fine. Okay, scoreboard doesn't crew. So they must be digging for a land. I think I might just be waiting here. We could back on track the Junker back, but I'd rather wait until they put something more threatening down. We are winning on the board already. They are up on cards, so let's wait until they do something scarier. Sundial is not scary. Tapping down their creature also isn't scary. Letting them get to 3 speed Do we care? What do they have, an Avishkar Raceway here? We're going to have them dead before the max speed matters. So I think I'm fine with them hitting me here. And removing, you know, whatever they play to block. It's an Ether Siphon. Okay, well, yeah. I'm now just going to remove this 4/4. Just wanted to see what they were planning. Yep. Let's get them down to 3. We are at max speed. We can back on track and get back our Junker. What does this hit? Creatures. Let's just play out Grease Wrench Goblin. And then we can discard our land. Sky Streak Engineer. Daring Mechanic. And yeah, that will be game. So we'll discard our Mountain. Ooh, it's a Crash and Burn off the top. Lovely stuff. Well, this is a very awkward hand. Opponent goes first. On the draw, I think I keep it. Very easily could go wrong, and it already is. Not very aggressive. I'm going to Grim Bauble this thing. I think I'd rather just play the pilot out, because I'd rather trade the pilot for this. Hey, they're looking for a land, I reckon. They found it. And there you go, no attacks. So, Gastel Raider seems real nice here. Crash and Burn and Voyage Home. They have Perilous Snare. So they can go land. Their Voyage Home is pretty expensive. I think I'm taking their Crash and Burn. This becomes a 3-drop. I think that is fine. So we'll just take our speed. Start racing them. I don't mind if they start attacking with this thing, because we have got an Oil Gorger. Okay, they're going to cast the Snare. So now we are pretty heavily incentivized to keep them off of max speed. And we can do so. They're on 2. Magmakin gets them up to 3. But that's not that exciting. I really want to hit a land drop here, but is it really punishing if I don't? I could just Grim Bauble and attack. If I don't, I guess I can still just chump block. Okay, let's do that. Because I think what they're likely to do is cycle the Magmakin, which means they can't exhaust anyway, so they can't really attack. Yeah, and if they spend their whole turn exhausting, then they're gaining no speed. Well, let's play Pact Dolterra here so that we can just block this thing. This is a pretty high priority target for a lot of people, but we know it's not that good in our deck. If it trades off with this Prow Catcher, I'm more than happy. This is also okay. We're at max speed. We don't want them to get to max speed, but they're pretty much guaranteed to do it. So maybe I am just attacking with my flying lifelinker, making them deal with that. Yeah, let's do that. We're way up on cards. We have loads of stuff to cast. We don't need to play out the Spike Spitter just yet. Yep, here we are. Here it all is. Oh, they played the Magma King, and they're going to put a counter on it. Interesting. Burner Rocket might be relevant. I think what I'm doing here is... play the Javelineer. It can trade with the Prow Catcher Specialist. Get him on a pretty fast clock. Yeah. Pretty fast clock. And if they do want to try and race, I think we're going to win the race. This Burner Rocket might just be a sneaky win. Okay. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. There's potentially 7 in the air next turn. So if they're too aggressive with their attack, we might have a sneaky win here. It's only as a sorcery, so you've missed your chance to do that, I'm afraid. Okay. This can trade with either of their creatures and survives the encounter against the artillerist. Because we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so this attack is worthwhile. There was stick there. Do they have something? I'm so high on life. My life total is so high. They're in a tough spot. They do have obviously a bunch of card draw. I don't know why they didn't just cast the Voyage Home there. They could, couldn't they? What are they looking for with the Hull Drifter instead? Oh, I guess the Hull Drifter does block. Well, we trade this for the Hull Drifter. That is okay. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. This is crew 1. Let's attack here. Let's trade the oil gorger for the hull drifter before they can like start putting counters on the hull drifter. Because now, like, they cast the voyage home, they're just not committing. They don't have enough stuff on the board. So we want to keep them... They're taking another 3. We want to keep them in a position where they are going to struggle to defend their life total. And we need them committing to the board rather than drawing more cards. Diversion unit. We can kill that. And then a voyage home. So they've got 3 mana left, 2 creatures on the board. They're facing down lethal. They do have cards, they do have mana. Oh, crash and burn. That is a mighty fine card. We're going to start with Grim Bauble. Gastor Thrillseeker, also pretty excellent here. Okay. Yeah, they're just going to scoop it up. So we crash and burn the Artillerist. They probably crew. We play the Thrillseeker. We definitely had lethal. Those top decks from the Spike Spitter and off the top of the deck were pretty gas. All right, the deck is winning, and we haven't seen the Bastronaut yet. This is easily a mulligan. This is also borderline a mulligan, but I guess on the draw... Oh, we have 1 playable spell. But opponent kept 7, so look, we're keeping this. We're putting a crash and burn back and hoping we draw a mountain. And, like, if we mulligan to 5, we're going to lose. Pretty unlucky hand. Can we get a... Couldn't get a mountain off the top for the turn 1 Bastronaut. Can we get a mountain off the top for the turn 2 Thrillseeker? No, no. Can't make it happen, and we're up against... something that we can't Grim Bauble. So now we've pretty much lost this game. It was decided entirely by the mulligan, and like we're just getting best of 1 here, is what it is. Do I have to... Do I have to play this so that I have at least something to do next turn? I can sack and surveil and try and find my mountains. There's 1. There is 1. Jesus. Okay. Are they going to have a counterspell? They're not doing much. They're likely to just kill whatever I put in play. God, I think I'm just going to surveil. Got crash and burn up, if we want to do that. They're going to play a Goda, so they must have just drawn that. Just with this entire hand of red cards, I need none of that. I need a mountain. You've got to be kidding. Got to be kidding. Okay. All right. Fucking... Astronaut's so bad. Astronaut is. This gets around Spectral Interference. But playing my 1-drop on turn 5 is miserable. So it was Lightning Strike instead. That is fine. Okay. Nothing but red cards coming out from our deck. Gonna play the big creature now. Okay, they don't have Spectral Interference. They do have the answer to the Spike Spitter, though. Alright. Okay. Now they're double spelling, and we just have the most awkward draw imaginable. Wow, man. Okay, well, let's, I guess, build our speed. Still playing this out. Because if we draw a mountain, then we can double spell. I think that's going to do it. We cannot... I guess we can crash and burn the Summit. That is something. I'm going to take all the damage here. Going down to 8. Seeing us first strike. So crash and burn the Summit. Build more speed, and next turn we can actually double spell. We can put a good creature, defensive creature into play, and hit 4 speed. They're up on cards, they're way up on life. We're not out of it, but we've gone from guaranteed losing, virtually guaranteed losing, to mostly nearly guaranteed losing. Yeah, they're doing some really good stuff here. Also, don't even know how we deal with the 4/5. Can I defend myself here? So, block, eat one of these, trade, go down to... Yeah, okay, so no attacks here. If they don't have any interaction, if all they have is exhaust Scurryfoot, then we survive this this turn cycle. And then maybe the Junker comes down and we can do something to fight back here. If they don't have any interaction, which was a pretty big ask. Let's see. I guess we're taking out this. Going down to 1. Yep, that'll do it. Oh, excuse me. I'm still absolutely full of cold. So that's why I still sound funny. Yeah, we were just never destined to win that game. This, however, is the nut draw. This is absolutely the nut draw, and we're on the play. I will be flabbergasted if we don't win this game, because this is incredibly overpowering stuff. And the opponent's on a mulligan. So we got an absolute free loss handed to us in the last game, but this might just be a free win here. Like, this is an insanely strong start in this format. This curve is absurd. Like, we'll have turn 1, 2, 3 speed. Probably turn 4 speed. And then a double striking Bastronaut. Bastronaut having Menace is so difficult to deal with as well. Sarcophagus, which cannot block either of our things here, is just brutal. Insane. And we can even double spell next turn. We can play the Javelineer and then attack with the Thrill Seeker, and they'd have to double block. Actually, it's better to attack with the Bastronaut. Oh, Crash and Burn is such a good draw. It's such a good draw. Jesus, they got a Pact Altera. Let's take out the... Let's take out the Artifact, because they are probably a Haunt the Network deck. And just keep attacking. We're at max speed. The Bastronaut is now just going to solo them. If what they do next turn is play Pact Altera, they're not going to be very happy. So we can just send with the Thrill Seeker. If we send with the Bastronaut, it can become a... It actually does get double blocked. So let's just go Javelineer. Send with you. Tough decisions to make. Trade him off. Oh, Pact Altera. Yeah, we'll take it. It continues to press the opponent. And they just have to keep putting creatures on the board here because of the Bastronaut. And once we get them just low enough, we can start attacking all. The Bastronaut here is not necessarily, like, finishing the game, but they have to keep playing around it. What the fuck was that? That was so bizarre. I'm going to attack with everything. I'm gonna see what they want to do here. Gonna exhaust this. Keep the pace setter, we can play it. Trade the helm was not great there. It might have been all they had to do, but that made it worse, I think, for them. Blisteringly fast 3-1. Opponent goes first. And this is a very slow hand. But they kept. I'm also going to keep. I think we trade into playing a more grindy game when we're on the draw anyway. So this is all right. Sundial. That is going to do a lot of damage to us quite quickly. The worst thing we could do on our turn is play a risky shortcut. Exactly what we're going to do. Junker goes down, and then back on track and reanimate it later. Ether Jacket is an interesting one. We're going to have to crash and burn that, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. Spike Spitter. Blocks. Does it stabilize? Is it Ride's End on the Spike Spitter here? Tripper. Yeah, I do want this. But then, do I just lose? I make a 1-1. The Junker is a 4-3. Okay, so back on track. Bring back the Junker. Have to destroy a stupid Ether Jacket. Have to trade with the Sundial, go down to 1. Voyage home. Okay, so yeah, well, I mean, we're probably out of this. So we'll trade here. Go down to 1. Eat one of these, block the other. Yeah, I think that's what it has to be. Oh. No attacks. Can I crew this in response to its own trigger and then target itself? I don't know if I can. Yeah, okay. Oh no, I didn't crew! Oh, that's alright. I think we were losing anyway. But I was supposed to crew there. So I could block. But it would have been 2 jump blocks. It would have been real bad. Best of 1 again. That last one was on me, though. I should have just mulliganed. Getting beaten down by sundials and quick welders is dumb as heck. Should not be happening to you. Opponent goes first. We have an okay curve here. cheeky little curve. Can trade with the Gas Guzzler here, since the opponent has all the initiative. Okay, sure thing. Gas Guzzler really strong right there. And we are just playing out the burner rocket to make the Junker cheaper. Gastel Raider probably just crewing the rocket here. Take this Siphon Fuel. They have 2 expensive cards in hand. Our only hope is they get mana screwed for a bit. Okay, that is fine. No attacks. Well, we're also getting mana screwed, so that obviously is not ideal. But yeah, they have all the initiative, so we're just passing. Oh, man. Okay. It's rather sad, isn't it? So we have to do this here. They are doing a lot more card filtering than we are. But we have to try and keep them off max speed so that this Gas Guzzler doesn't just start giving them a ton of card advantage. Gas Guzzler plus Autarch Mammoth is going to be really good too. Also very good with the Wickerpoke Indomitable. Okay. Spike Spitter here. Yeah, Spike Spitter here. And no attacks. I guess we could have attacked. Yeah, I should have attacked. We have to hold the Junker for the Mammoth. We don't have to worry so much about our life total. Okay, well I'm glad I didn't attack, because I actually didn't see that line. That is 5. But they can't play either of their spells right now. Grimbauble. Well, Grimbauble plus... And that being all we do, I guess we can actually surveil. So that's something. Okay. There's the mammoth. Do I want 2 mountains? I think I want 1 mountain. Trade the Spire Mech Cycle. They are 1 land away from being able to cast their own demonic Junker. If either of these trades... then I can't play the Junker next turn, but I think I'm doing this. Yeah, so if they just rip a land off the top, it's very bad for us. Javelineer is not so bad for us. And we're getting the trade. Cool. Because the Spike Spitter blocks these, you know, fairly well. If the Junker comes down, it does not. But still, the 6/5 blocks these perfectly well. If they draw land and destroy the Apocalypse Runner, not so bad. Oil Gorger, start racing. Don't care if they get to max speed now. They can only attack with 1 thing per turn. But I really want the Junker online. So let's say no attacks. Junker is online, so they have to have a land to be able to make an attack here. I think that's the line we have to play to. Broodheart Engine isn't a land. So now I need to hold the Junker for when they reanimate the Autarch Mammoth. Risky shortcut. Versus on-curve Oil Gorger. I think I prefer the Oil Gorger here. Need to start gaining speed, get up to lifelink. If all they do is reanimate the Mammoth, we could Junker it. They kept on top with their Surveil, so they could Demonic Junker. Okay. They're targeting the Oil Gorger? That'd be weird. Alright. I think it's the weakest card that I've got on the field right now. A Javelineer of our own. Well, now they can't really attack. So I'm going to risk a shortcut. I'm just going to take my max speed. Play my Death Toucher. Pass the turn. Now I'm drawing more cards. If they bring back the Mammoth, we have the Junker for it. I like where we're at now. I think we've wrestled control of this game. This thing has lifelink, effectively. Unblockable and lifelink. trading this with the Apocalypse Runner or trading with the Thrill Seeker? I'm trading with the Thrill Seeker here. Thrill Seeker's done its job. And if they're getting back their Junker instead of their Autarch Mammoth, I'm not unhappy about that. Yeah, they get back their Junker. They destroy my Spike Spitter, probably. But they still can't attack through this 6-5. Like, I can just play Pactol Terror here. That's not that good. Rather double spell. Hold the Junker for something. Nothing can attack through an exhausted Pace Setter Paragon. But I still think it's better to double spell here. Yeah, they're a little up on cards, but again, if they just send the Junker here, we just trade the Javelineer. And it's really not that scary. This Junker has done a lot of work for them. But we can gain a ton of life. We can gain 6 life with Apocalypse Runner and Pace Setter if we want to. Wickerfolk plus Javelineer is quite strong. Is it strong enough to Junker? I'd rather draw another removal spell that does the trick. But given that they're on 3 speed... Oh, okay, well that's fine. I would have kept the Wickerfolk if I was them. Yeah, so let's just go Mountain, Pactol, hold up the Exhaust. Am I now attacking? Am I beating down? They'd have to double block this. But we can hit him for 6, get him down to 3. Effectively 2 with the Junker. Do you know what? I think that is correct. Yeah, they have 2 cards. Their life total is very low. They can't really get back the Wickerfolk Indomitable anymore. They can't race. And the Junker can clear a blocker and be maybe a sneaky win. This has been quite a match. But we managed to make it this far without casting our bomb rare, whereas they cast theirs and reanimated it. So they got a lot of value from their Junker, but ours might just be winning us the game here. Dune Drifter for X equals 2 rather than... Why not just return like the Autarch Mammoth? I mean, I guess they could still do that. Yeah, taking 8. They're on 3. Yeah, let's keep our Pac Delterra around. We're so close to having them. Broodheart Engine getting back a Junker. But they only have 2 blockers. Yeah, they could have just got this back with their Dune Drifter, couldn't they? Oh, pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal. Oh, how much is the block for? Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't quite have this, do I? I think I'm just destroying their 6/5. And then giving first strike to whatever I block with. Oh, damn. Okay, I guess I've taken out the 4/3. We got no attacks here. They attack with the Junker. We use our combat trick. We're so close. It's so close. They do have more cards and mana than we do. Okay, so we can crew up. Place this block. Fan Guardian giving +2/+2. And I cannot save my Apocalypse Runner with pedal to the metal because I do not have 1 more mana. Okay. Okay. That doesn't do anything. What am I doing now? Am I just passing? If I attack, they block with the Fan Guardian. Their attack back is too big. Guess I'm just passing. Yeah. We nearly had that. We nearly had it back. But to be fair, like reanimating their demonic junker 3 times is very, very good. Super strong stuff. Yeah, so they crew. They have an attack for 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Okay. If I actually just chump. No, they're on 3, so I don't need to chump. And the way they're playing is telling me that they don't have another creature to play. They could always play the Indomitable. But it doesn't feel like they have it. So we are gonna just do this. Let's play around Bestow Greatness. So let's say X equals 5. I think that plays around basically everything. Crash and burn. Can I send the Junker here? It trades with a 3/3. And then I'm tapped out. God damn, no, I can't. I don't have an attack here, I have to wait. Crash and burn is not a bad thing to have drawn, but we have to wait. What could I draw? Ether Spark. Not too worried about Ether Spark at this stage. I do think the card advantage that it could give them is pretty relevant though. So dealing the damage to it now I think is worth it because they can draw so many cards with this thing. Whereas on the board state is fine. It's not looking too bad for us. But what I need to draw is frickin' Oil Gorger off the top would win us the game. Going to trade the Demonic Junker here because we could also draw Back on Track. They have 14 cards left. Oh, that's a land. Yeah, hell of a match. We could also draw, like, Risky Shortcut into Gastel Raider. We played the shortcut. We have. Let me think. Bastronaut would be interesting, although it's probably a little late. Prowl Catcher Specialist. It does block fairly well for another turn. I mean, I guess like Thrill Seeker into Thrill Seeker would be something. Oil Gorger off the top wins. Back on Track off the top is very good. Oil Gorger's still... Oh, it's in the graveyard. Okay. Back on Track to get back the Oil Gorger actually would just win on the spot. We haven't used our Back on Track, have we? Don't even remember this game. Been going on for so long. Am I taking 3? I think I am taking 3 here. Because there's like Mech Cycle and other stuff we can draw, which we might need a creature around for. Certainly not that. Yeah, no attacks just yet. They've gained a life. So Oil Gorger is no longer lethal. So bullshit. Ugh, take another 3. That is also a very good draw. I think I probably should just sack the Dune Drifter and get the 4-3 back. Oh, they can't pay the 2 life. They're going to. Okay. Back on Track. Oil Gorger. Win game. It's land. And so that is lethal. Okay. That was close. It was close. We fought through a lot. There. They did a lot. It was super grindy. They reanimated their Demonic Junker 3 or 4 times or something. Did not quite get there. But we fought through a lot. So there you have it. 3-3 with red-black exhaust. No, wait. Red-black max speed. The deck was definitely better than that. We got best of wand in game 1. Sometimes that happens. It's the pain of playing best of 1. That second game that we lost, I should have mulliganed. That's on me. And then the third game was a real match. It was a real match. I'd need to go over that whole game to figure out what exactly we could have done, but ultimately I think it came down to our opponent top decking a little bit better than us in the late game, but that was because they had the Grim Javelineer in play, and they could keep throwing creatures, and like trading off was better for them because they were able to surveil and draw more gas. So Grim Javelineer really made the difference for our opponent in that game 3. That is something to remember. Anyway, if you liked the video, please like the video and drop me a comment and a subscribe. And I will catch you on the next episode, Operation Double Mythic. That is all from me. Goodbye, goodbye.